Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here, and today we're going to preview the deck for the upcoming event called Vengeance in Vogue. Now this is a Dark Slayer event, and the cards themselves are pretty much identical to the previous fire deck that we last saw, and therefore I know that it's going to be an S tier deck based on what I saw and in the previous event, and based on what I know is going to what it's going to be like. So you can see the Fire Slayer deck, Gladia deck, was the one that I introduced a couple of weeks ago, and it was able to deal a lot of damage. And since it's the same mechanic for the dark cards, I know that it's going to be the same tier. Now you can also notice here that of all the S tier decks that we've seen so far, Halloween remains the only deck that is a commander based deck in this category. So I'm interested to see what the meta is going to be like in the future for our commander-based cards, because we can take a look at the previous one. Based on what I saw for the water commander deck, it was a at best I thought it was more like an tier A type deck, and just didn't quite go up to the S tier for me. And so now let's take a look at the collections. It's going to be the same mechanics. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but there are enough subtle differences that I think it's important for us to go through. So the first one is, let's take a look at the free card. This is Tyra Gleaming Blade. She's a warrior human hero. Now, if you take a look at her leader skill, it provides 300% damage and health for all dark human heroes. This is the first time they're actually introducing a 300% damage and health boost for human heroes. So this is a very interesting change, but because this is the first time they're doing it, that means you're going to get less of the cards that can really interact here. We can take a look at some of the human cards that they've introduced and up to this point, and I could tell you that there's not a whole lot. So this is probably their expansion into the new classes of heroes that we haven't typically seen before. This is also the first time we're seeing a human intensity included here. So what that means is until the relics come out, you're not going to be able to generate quite as high of intensity. So cards that depend on intensity will it will be slower. So for the first day, expect that to be the case. Let's take a look at the battle skills. So this will create 1 dark gem for now and the next 2 turns, plus 1 additional dark gem per 20 human intensity. So this is exactly the same card as Domi, so another really good free card to get. If you get nothing else, at least make sure that you get quite a few Tyras, because you're going to get a lot of dark gems on the board really fast. Then for the event card, this is, we're going to go in to take a look at the 6-star one here, Unchained Evangela. So same thing here, she provides 400% damage and health for Dark Human in guild versus guild attacks. So this is another GVG breaker type deck. Really, with this type of deck, if you have the full event, you can really just kind of steamroll any guild versus guild opponent here. And for the battle skill, it's the same thing. It will generate 5 human intensity, and it will attack for 3,000 attack, and another 1,500 for every 5 stacks of human intensity. And if there's a dark gem, power gem on the board, it will go ahead and attack twice. Exactly the same thing as Gladia. The difference here is her counter spell. She will dispel Gem Silence instead of Power Gem Silence. So this one is actually better because I believe, well, I don't think this will dispel Power Gem Silence, but the thing is Gem Silence silences both Power Gems and regular gems, and so the boss is going to impact the deck more, which means the guild boss will impact the red deck more so than this one, because the red, if you remember the Gladia deck, the boss casts Power Gem Silence, which is brand new, and Gladia only dispels Power Gem Silence, so it's going to be less effective in this event if you want to use the fire deck. Then onward into the ultra rare card, and that is Eternal Blade. So you can see the same thing. She will increase the human the attack by 30%, and an additional 10 intensity will add more attack to it. But the key here is the passive, where if there is, when beginning a turn with a Dark Power Gem 2 or higher on the board, create a Dark Power Gem 2. When it's a 6-star, then it just requires a Power Gem 1 or higher on the board, and you'll create a Power Gem 3. Then the ultra rare, which is Gia, same skill except her passive will create a Dark Power Gem 4. So a combination of the ultra rare plus the ultra rare, and then 1 event card and 2 free cards is really sort of the team makeup that you want to see, and I can show you here. I would actually say you don't actually need the the event card. I would say actually this is the optimal setup with the ultra rare card and the ultra rare, and having 3 of the free cards. This is going to be an MVP deck right here. If you can get at least 3 or more of the power gem creating relics, I am expecting that the dark relic that you're going to see tomorrow in the next day is going to be a power gem creating one. I'll be really surprised if it isn't, because if it doesn't have that, then this deck will drop down significantly in its effectiveness, and so we'll see what happens there. But if everything remains the same, this is the setup right here: 3 of the free cards, 1 ultra rare, 1 ultra rare, and if you have more than 1 ultra rare, then you can actually replace a free card there. But I found that this to be more effective than having an event card in the deck for, you know, fighting world boss or going after the level 200 infernal bosses. This is a quick MVP deck because you can get on turn 2 based on my experience, and you can then set up for guild versus guild with your event card as the leader, and then you can use any combination of the cards there. It's really the power gem creating relic that makes the difference here. So I'm not going to go into too much there because it's exactly the same style. So for me, I am still going to use my fire deck here. I've already invested in it, and I think what I'll do is I'll switch this card out, and then I will swap it out for a card that can actually dispel gem silence. So for me, any of these cards can do, and actually the Dark Thrall deck already has a card that by default will dispel Gem Silence, and that is Narfunk. So since it is a light event, this could actually work. You don't get the extra bonus from the Slayer event, but you get the bonus from having the affinity bonus here. So this is actually I believe to be a very viable deck. Another one that I wanted to play with is the one that I got in the past that uses the Crystal Phoenix. So this is another deck that uses a Crystal Phoenix and the Albinus, and you can put in a Fallen, or if you notice the free card here, you can get Loki. This is really good. I don't have Loki at all, so I'm looking forward to getting him. This is a card that will rain gems. It will drastically increase the drop of the dark gems at 6 stars. So it's definitely a really good card to have. Bella's not bad. Bella at 6 stars, right now 5 stars creates a power gem 2. At 6 stars, it'll create a power gem 3 without any cooldown. So that's also a pretty good card to have. I have Demon and Grenja at 4 stars, so I will level her up if I need to. But really for me, I think if you missed out on the fire deck and you are looking for a deck to invest in, this would be a good one to invest in. But if they don't have a VIP option to get an ultra rare, then it is up to your discretion, right? You could end up spending a lot of gems and not get what you want, so please proceed with caution there. But what I would say is this deck worth going after? I would say based on what I saw with the fire deck, definitely. I loved it, really enjoy having it, but because I already have exactly the same playstyle, I don't plan on investing for this particular deck. That's just me, and I have other cards I'm going to go with, especially since I have the Thrall deck. I want to see how that would work out in terms of damage. It's probably not going to be the MVP deck, and it's probably going to be a little slower, but I could defeat bosses pretty easily with this. And for people who are looking to go with a free option, if you have this deck already, stick with it. I think you will be successful there. So that's it for this video. The event will start in just a few hours, so looking forward to seeing how things go. They are also making some changes overall, and then once the event starts, we'll take a look at those changes, and then we will go through them in detail. So that's it for today's episode. Look forward to hearing any feedback there, and then I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.